Alright, this video is going to be about my opinion and the setup of the Vladimir model's Elf DLG. When I first took it out of the box, I felt it was extremely flimsy. I couldn't imagine how the thing would hold up under actual use. But it turns out I've had probably about 100 flights so far, and it's in perfect shape. My first flights launched about as high as my 1.5 meter DLG and actually lasted longer, and the plane's easier to catch, so overall it's been working out great. So about how I have it set up, the first thing that I want to point out is I couldn't really figure out where to put the antenna, and turns out I just drilled a little hole on the balsa rib and fed a small plastic tube through, and then the antenna through the tube. So that way we get the 90-degree angle and there's no drag. The next thing that I did was to make the plane a little bit easier to travel with. I made a small modification on the horizontal stabilizer. I took a piece of music wire and bent it into essentially a rectangular shape, and that allows to remove it and also locks it in place when it's mounted so that it can't come out. The music wire only weighs about 1/10 of 1 gram, so even on a plane this light, it's pretty insignificant. The instructions were written at a time when the plane was less assembled than it is today, so there's several steps that you really need to skip. Keeping that in mind will make it a little bit easier to understand why the instructions don't make any sense. I used a small piece of electrical tape to mark the center of gravity. I used this piece of tape just to hold the cap on the fuselage. So inside I've got two D47 servos. I've got them mounted with just like kind of a thin tape. I had this reflective tape which looks nice. I do not recommend electrical tape to hold it on because the servos will move a little bit. It needs to be some kind of a stiff tape. You could probably use packing tape, that would be fine. For the receiver, I'm using the FrSky GRX6, which has the Vario and altimeter feature built in, and it's super small. It fits inside the fuselage perfectly. For the battery, I did a lot of reading about 2S and 1S and different circuits. Some people use the 2S with a step down or a 1S with a step up circuit. I tried that with the 1S, and after a few flights, I was testing the transmitter on the ground and there was no response to the servo, so apparently it dipped below whatever the voltage threshold is and stopped operating. So I found that kind of risky. What I ended up doing was just going with a straight 1S, and that way the receiver can report the actual voltage, and it works fine. In the colder weather, it's not the greatest, but other than that, it's a super simple setup, no circuits, no complications, and it works fine. So this is my flight box, which I designed and made on the Shapeco router. It's plywood, 1/4-inch plywood. It has this little latch system built in. Opens up like this. My FrSky X-Lite transmitter, sunglasses, tape. These compartments have all my little tools, multimeter, my helmet cam, little tripod, some epoxy glue in case I need to do any repairs in the field. And then I've got 2 compartments marked charged and depleted so that I know the status of batteries.